Hello, this is Jay Essen. It's Saturday, April 26th of 2025, and we are taking a brief detour to visit Ryan's Enigmarch 2025 page, where one of these puzzles, in case you weren't aware, Enigmarch is an Inktober-style event that challenges nerds to make a puzzle every day for an entire month. You can check out his previous efforts when you have some spare time at this link, but for right now we have new puzzles to make and solve, and one of these puzzles, specifically Day 22, is a story from the sexy vampire, which vampires have something of a continuing theme in the adventures of the Little Match Girl, so this may somehow be relevant to the game series we have been playing through, the Little Match Girl games. So that is what we're going to go ahead and do today. So here is Day 22, Bored. Here's a story from the sexy vampire. As the last rays of sunlight fade, I slowly open my golden eyes. I run my pointed little tongue over my pointed little fangs. I rise from my coffin, a wicked smile curling my fatally sensuous lips. Tonight will be the greatest night of my life, so to speak. The Board of Regents, a puzzle for Enigmarch 2025, Release 1, serial number 250328, in Form 7, version 10.1.2. Apartment. My coffin takes pride of place. Russell's bed is shoved into a corner. A ratty corkboard hangs over his computer. He's thrilled to see me awake, as always. "Tonight's the night," he says, giddy, breathless. "Did you gas up the car?" I ask, stretching languorously. "And caffeine up yourself? You'll be doing a lot of driving." "Uh-huh," he says. "Everything's ready." "Then go start the car," I command, and he rushes downstairs. So, we're playing a bit of a different character this time around. We are seeing things from one of the villain's perspectives. While I did try this briefly back when it was first released, I have not played more than the first couple rooms. I never did finish it, so I will be curious to see if we can solve this in one go. If not, we may need to see if we can get some assistance from what resources are available. I should have checked on this first, but let me go ahead and do so now. Board of Regents. Oh, interesting. That does not come up as a game on the Interactive Fiction database, but if need be, we do have hints down here, which I have just moused over accidentally, so that's something we can turn to should the need arise. Let's look at ourselves. Examine me. Tonight's outfit features my snakeskin corset, which I save for special occasions, my tiger's eye pendant, which I wear every night, and my snakeskin boots, because they go with the corset. There's a little black tattoo on my left wrist. Let's check that tattoo up first. The tattoo is my familiar. It lets me know when I'm in trouble. Right now, it's as calm as I am. So that seems... Trespasser? There's a game that was put out for consoles at one point where your character has a tattoo on her chest that she can look down, and that's her health bar. That's what I was reminded of when I saw that our protagonist here has a tattoo that lets her know when she's in trouble. Let's check out this corset. Tonight's outfit, yep, it's the same. Okay, and the pendant? A topaz on a gold chain. Squeezing it helps me see in the dark. Everyone resorts to little tricks now and then. That's very familiar. That is a relevant piece of treasure that I don't know that Ebenezabeth has come across in our current playthrough, but I do know this is something she's going to wind up with, so apologies for spoiling that. But that's going to be very relevant in, I think, the next game that we play. So it's exciting to see that introduced here. And let's examine boots. Should probably be the same. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. And let's look. Let's check out our coffin. I can't wait to get rid of this shabby old coffin and move into something more plush. A clan leader deserves real luxury. Let's check out Russell's bed. Russell hasn't kept his bed as tidy as he's supposed to. Well, I'm in a good mood tonight. And the corkboard. A to-do list is pinned to the corkboard. Daniel Broom, Vikrick, Blister, Sabina, Gloat. The 4 surviving members of Kansas City's Board of Regents. Once I get 3 of them to vote me in, I'll be clan leader for the Sect of Thorns, and there'll be nothing Sabina can do about it. Okay, so this is going to be our plan of action. Let's take the list. I don't want to carry that around. Okay, well, I have made a note of it on a separate page, so that's fine. So we've got our pendant. Okay. Let's examine the computer. Russell left his web browser open. Looks like he's been on some message board bragging about how his girlfriend is a vampire. Isn't that cute? He thinks I'm his girlfriend. Yeah. Poor thralls. They just don't know any better. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Look under bed. Nothing of interest. Look under coffin. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. Let's go ahead, and Russell himself is waiting in the car downstairs. So we should not be able to see him. Yeah, okay. Let's go out to Broadway Boulevard. Already the street is crowded with humans, shuffling in and out of restaurants, clubs, theaters. They don't know they're cattle. They don't know that for every second they spend on my turf, their lives are in my hands. Their blood is my property. My apartment is upstairs. Russell is waiting in the car. Check out this car. My 77 Sedan DeVille, hunter green to match my corset. Russell gets such a little thrill out of driving it. Let's check out these humans. The nearby warmth of so many beating hearts is intoxicating. Right now, though, I need to remain focused. Okay. Can we see these restaurants, clubs, and theaters? I have my haunts, my hunting grounds, but tonight I have business to attend to. Yeah, okay. Clubs and theaters are probably going to do the same. And let's go ahead and check out the apartment. The Valentine Hotel combines a modicum of Art Deco dignity with a certain degree of ominous decay. It's perfectly appropriate for my current position in society, but I'm not sure it'll suit a clan leader. Maybe if I took over the whole penthouse. Okay, let's check out Russell now that we're down here. Okay, let's get in the car to the back seat. I stretch out on the black leather, resting my boots on the far door. I can just make out Russell's face in the rearview mirror, but he can't see me. I took the liberty of drawing up an itinerary, he says, passing me a sheet of printer paper. Just let me know where you want to go first. Let's check out this itinerary. There are 6 neighborhoods on tonight's itinerary. Sheffield. Daniel Broom should be in the MUA offices until the interview. 18th and Vine. Viker keeps his lair in the old workhouse. The Garment District. I should be able to find Blister in the 8th Street tunnels. Swope Park. Not because I'm dumb enough to think I can win Sabina's vote, but because I want to rub her face in the fact that I'm going to win anyway. The Financial District. That's where I'll have my interview with the Board of Regents, at midnight. Westport, where my lair is. I suppose Russell put that on the itinerary because he thinks we're going to celebrate after the interview. This is kind of interesting. I have spent a little bit of time in Kansas City, but not enough to be able to recognize if these are actual locations in that area. If they are, they're not places I've ever visited. Let's go ahead and start out by going to Sheffield once we have checked out Russell now that we're in the car. I don't think yeah, okay. Pale mortal in his 20s. Paler now than when I first met him. A human who'll do your bidding willingly isn't as much of a drain on one's magic as a hypnotized thrall, but I wouldn't exactly call him low maintenance. Can we just talk to him? So, Russell stammers, tonight isn't going to change anything between us, right? It's not like once you're clan leader, you'll need a higher class of henchmen? Oh, Russell, I tell him, what a stupid question. Stupid because obviously, yes. I don't expect Russell is likely to survive the night, but you never know. He could be useful. It's just that if he's not low maintenance, that could be an issue. Let's see. We should go ahead and go to Sheffield. Yeah. First, we're going to Sheffield, I say. Russell nods. While he's driving, I'm daydreaming about being clan leader. Russell parks the car, and I come out of my reverie. We come out, we're at the tracks. The car is parked alongside the railroad track. The MUA office is down the alley to the east. We examine the track. I remember when there was a romance to rail travel. Now it's just greasy. We examine the office. It's too far down the alley to see. Let's see the alley. It's east from here, so we go east. Alley. The grimy little corridor between warehouses. The MUA office is east, the car is west, and there's a billboard to the south. The billboard is brightly lit. What's missing from CH_CH? What? Then I see in the lower corner. You are. My head swims and I stagger to my knees. I can confirm this is very accurate to the billboards in that area. Very typical of the era. Let's go ahead and examine the office now that we're closer. That billboard is like a dagger in my skull. I have to get away from it. All right, we're going to head to the east then. I can barely think while that billboard is in my line of sight. Can we go back? Okay, we can go back. Can we close our eyes and go east? Okay, if we go back to the alley, I can't make myself ignore that billboard, but when I look directly at it, there's a stabbing pain in my eyes. It's just as bad as a crucifix. Close our eyes. My head is killing me. Please direct me to the west where I can't see that billboard. Okay. So it looks like we can't head this way because of a church billboard. So let's go back into the car. Let's examine our itinerary again. So Sheffield is momentarily an issue. Let's go to 18th and Vine. Take me to 18th and Vine, I say. Russell is eager to get going. Kansas City is a blur outside the window. Here we are, Russell says. We get out. Here's the fence. Russell is parked as close to the castle as he can get. It's just east from here. There's a chain link fence in the way, but that's nothing I have to worry about. Way to the south, some kids are fooling around in a parking lot. I can't see the kids from here. We examine the fence. The fence is just a bunch of wires, really. I can pass through it easily. Let's go south first, to the parking lot. A mercury street lamp bathes the parking lot in pale orange light. Teenagers are practicing tricks on their skateboards, laughing, yelling at each other, making a racket. The car is back to the north. We examine the teens. A bunch of human boys in baggy pants trying not to fall off their skateboards. Don't they know it's dangerous to be out in the city at night? So if we look at the street lamp, there's something soothing about the street lamp. Light without warmth. Okay. We talk to the teens. I make my way into the middle of the group. My golden eyes catch the light of the street lamp. Or are they glowing all on their own? It's dark out, I purr. You boys ought to go home. One of them is stupid enough to talk back. You know what you ought to do, babe? And then he says something I can't repeat in an Enigmarch puzzle. So, fair enough. Let's go back to the north. And let's walk through fence. I only need to be in mist form for about half a second to pass through the fence, which is good, because if I have to be incorporeal for much longer than that, I get a killer headache. Castle. One of Vikrik's thralls stands guard at the castle entrance. Her eyes follow me, but they're not processing what she's seeing. The car is on the other side of the fence, to the west. We examine the guard. Okay. Examine the thrall. She barely has enough blood in her to keep standing up. Clearly this isn't the thrall that Vykrek sends on important errands. We go in. The thrall blocks my path. I stop myself from tossing her out of the way. That would be bad diplomacy. I need to see Vykrek, I tell her. She blinks at me. My master isn't in a mood to... She blinks again. Receive visitors. It's those noisy kids, isn't it? I can hear them from here. She takes a while to answer. I think so. Okay, so we've got to get the kids to leave. Okay, well, in that case, let's go ahead and examine the castle. The old workhouse is really falling apart. I wonder if Vikrek's spending any magic keeping it from collapsing over him. Let's go back west and south. Can we scare the kids? Oh, come on. I'm not going to talk it out with them. I'm an amoral monster. I drink baby's blood every chance I get. I tried drinking the kids. I like the way you think, but right now I'm on Vikrek's turf, and he might object if he sends me sampling his collection. Okay. Let's see if we can do something else. We have an itinerary and a tiger's eye pendant. We might need something specific to deal with these kids. Let's go back north and try out the next location on our series of destinations. So, number 3 is the Garment District. Take me to the Garment District, I say. Russell puts the car in gear. I admire my fingernails while he focuses on the road. We're here, Russell says. We go out to the parking garage. Russell has parked the Cadillac on the lowest level of the parking garage, where the east wall consists of a huge bricked-up archway. At the center of the arch is a steel door. We examine the door. The various warnings posted on the door are there to keep humans away. Nothing I have to worry about. I try to open it. I open it and go in. Oh, that put me back in the car. Let's go back out, and let's go east to darkness. It's pitch black in here, and I can't see a thing. This is a little embarrassing. To see in the dark, I have to use my pendant. So we squeeze the pendant. I squeeze my pendant, and the darkness fades a little. Tunnel. Now I can see. I'm in a twisty maze of passages all alike. The Madness Syndicate must have put some spell in the tunnels to discourage intruders. I know the way out is west, but I don't know how to get to Blister's lair. So if I try traveling, if I go south, I shuffle down one of the passages, and of course I end up back where I started. That's how these spells work. Okay, so that's going to be the case that we don't have the ability to travel the tunnels. So let's go back out and in to the back seat. Examine our itinerary. So we can go ahead and taunt Sabina now. Let's go to Swope Park. Take me to Swope Park, I say. Russell wastes no time. Time passes. Here we are, Russell says. We go out to the trail. The Cadillac's high beams illuminate only a narrow stretch of the woods. This is as far up the trail as a car can get. To go farther north, I have to hoof it. Let's go north. To woods. I can sense life in the undergrowth, in the branches. Possums, spiders, raccoons, snakes, they can sense me too, and maintain a respectful distance. The headlights to the south tell me where the car is. Sabina's cabin is somewhere to the north. Let's examine the undergrowth. I can't see it or it's not implemented. Branches? Yeah, likewise. Okay, we go north to the cabin. Sabina's lodge is very rustic, more impressive for its size than for any sense of style. From what I've heard about the parties the Nine Tongues clan throws here, they aren't exactly classy affairs. The lioness on the front porch is watching me with cold red eyes. I can't see the car from here, but I know it's somewhere to the south. Let's check out that lioness. Sabina's pet. I forget her name. I don't really remember whether Sabina made her an actual vampiric lioness or just a thrall. At any rate, she'll leave me alone if I leave her alone. I don't think we can talk to the lioness, but we can try. Yeah, my plan is to leave her alone. If we shout, you can scream if you want, but I'm keeping my cool. Okay. I can go south or inside. Let's go inside, I guess. I was going to try and circle the cabin, but I guess that's not necessary. I step confidently past the lioness, and all she does is watch as I let myself inside. Sabina's lair. Sabina sits on her fancy carven throne in front of a roaring fire. She very convincingly doesn't look surprised to see me. There's a pile of junk sitting next to her. Well, let's examine that junk. It looks like the Nine Tongues clan just finished spring cleaning, and they found a lot of stuff they don't want cluttering up the cabin anymore. Sitting on top is an old Ouija board. We could examine that, I guess. It's a little scuffed, but it's hardly junk. It's kitschy. Are you planning to burn this? Sabina nods. The spirit in that board is more trouble than it's worth. Maybe you just don't know how to handle it. She shrugs. Go ahead and take it if you like. We'll take the board, then. I take the board from the pile. The planchet is right underneath it. Perfect. I grab that, too. How did you use it, I asked Sabina, before it outlived its usefulness? There's a very frisky spirit in there, she says. It'd tell me whatever was on its mind if I so much as glanced at it. Too easy. I think I can check Sabina off my list, but I'll stick around here for as long as I feel like annoying her. Let's go ahead and talk to her. I talk to Sabina. Sabina nods disdainfully as I approach. Lefria, of the sect of thorns, she murmurs. Be welcome in our clan house. I wanted to check in with you before the big meeting tonight, I say. Do you know how you'll vote? It is inappropriate to discuss such things before the appointed time, Sabina tells me, with a sweet little smile. I'd like to rip it off her face. In any case, I am sure the Board of Regents will reach the right decision. I'm sure they will, I say, with my own sweet little smile. We examine her. Sabina has slick white hair and severe features, fangs barely visible behind tight pursed lips, the quiet bestial intensity that the leader of the Nine Tongues clan is obligated to demonstrate. She thinks she's better than me just because she's 100 years older, but when we're both on the Board of Regents, she'll have to acknowledge me as her equal. I think that's pretty much everything in here. I guess we can examine the fire. Yeah, we can't see that. The throne. The throne came down with the Nine Tongues clan from Canada back in the fur trapper days. Sabina carved all the little wolves and elk herself. Let's examine this board. I set down the Ouija board, and the planchette starts darting across its surface, pointing out a message. Hello. Thank you. Very polite, I say. Sabina doesn't say anything. She's realizing she shouldn't have allowed a former servant of hers into my hands. We could look at the board again. Okay, nope. We'll take the board again, and let's go out and back south. Now let's examine the board here. Okay, we probably should have examined the board in each location. Okay, apparently not. I thought that this might be the second message in a series, but... So, when we were in with Sabina and we looked at it, it said hello and thank you. Now that we're outside, the planchet skitters across the board spelling lesions. I don't know what that's about. We go further south, therefore stomach contents, the Ouija board says. We continue south to the trail. Examine it here. I set down the Ouija board and wait for it to talk to me. Nothing happens. I guess it doesn't have anything to say right here. We go in to the back seat and we examine the board here. Even frauds dispose of. Dispose of what? Weak human boys? Let's examine our itinerary again. We've been to Swope Park. We need to go to the financial district when all is said and done. We might as well stop by there now, because I'm curious to see if there's difference in the car in different locations. So we go to financial district. Take me to the financial district, I say. Russell nods. I'm going to make such a good clan leader. We're here, Russell says. We examine the board now. Okay, yeah, same message. So inside the car, doesn't matter where the car itself is located. We go out to the empty street. The Cadillac is the only car around. There's no reason for this street to be abandoned on a night like tonight. Someone on the Board of Regents must have cast a spell to keep the mortals away, so they can conduct my interview in peace. It'll happen in the building to the east. We examine the board. I set down the Ouija board and wait for it to talk to me. Nothing happens. I guess it doesn't have anything to say right here. Can we try talking to it directly? Nope, that's not something I can talk to. If we go east... Lobby. Click, click, click. That's the sound of my snakeskin boots crossing the marble floor, echoing throughout the building. The elevator door is closed. The way out to the street is west. We examine the board here. Low, ramble, for rambling. For rambling what? Okay. We open the elevator. The door won't open. Well, it's not midnight yet. Okay. Next, let's go to Westport, where we started. Take me to Westport, I say. Russell puts the car in gear. Kansas City is a blur outside the window. Here we are, Russell says. And now let's go out. Examine the board here. Nothing here. To the apartment. Disorder, senility, or bad disarray. Don't make me regret rescuing you, Ouija board. Okay, well, this is concerning because we visited all of the locations now. Let's go back out and into the car and back to the first of our destinations. Go to Sheffield. We go out. So I suspect, based on the pattern, that the board does nothing here. Oh, it does. Fulminate, or a dizzy dragon's head pursues. I just noticed this Ouija board has a comma and an apostrophe and everything. Okay, fulminate, or a dizzy dragon's head pursues. Like boil? We go east to the alley. Oh, there was an exit that I overlooked. Yeah. Can I examine the board here? No. Let's go back west. So, and I should be able to cut around to the supports for that billboard if I head southeast. So we go southeast from here, under the billboard. These metal columns support the billboard. I can't see the sign itself from directly underneath, but I still feel kind of queasy. The alley is north and the car is northwest. We examine the board here. I'm afraid to find out what the Ouija board will say about this place. If we go north to the alley... Okay, it's just as bad. So, okay. We can't go back. We have to go back here. Examine these columns. A thick cable runs up the side of one column. My keen detective mind tells me it might supply power to the lights. Can we take the cable? I don't want to carry that around. Can we cut the cable? It takes a sip or two of magic to turn my fingernails into huge claws. I slash the cable, and the lights above go out immediately. And then there's a wave of nausea I get whenever I destroy a religious symbol. But I haven't vomited in 80 years, and I'm not going to vomit now. See? I'm fine. Okay. Now that it's dark, I feel a lot steadier. So we'll go back to the alley to the north. Back to the alley. The grimy little corridor between warehouses, the MUA offices east, the cars west, and there's a billboard to the south. And now we should be able to examine the board without issue. Afraid to find out what it will say about this place. Let's go east then, to the office. The local office of the Midwest Undead Association serves as Daniel Broom's lair. He sits behind his cheap desk, leaning forward in his cheap office chair and smiling like he's happy to see me. Behind him are a row of filing cabinets and a dry erase board. Speaking of boards, we examine the Ouija board. I set down the board out of Daniel's sight. The planchet spells out 8 letters, guess by pointing, and then it spins around to indicate the alphabet. 8 letters, guess by pointing. Let's survey the room before we commit to activities. Daniel Broom isn't the clan leader for the Midwest Undead Association, but by virtue of being their regional coordinator for the Kansas City area, he gets a seat on the local board of regents. He's always wearing a short-sleeved dress shirt, a red tie, and a big fake smile. We talk to Daniel. Welcome, Lafria. I don't suppose you're here because you're interested in MUA membership? We both laugh politely. But seriously, I'm here as a resource to all undead in the area, whether they're members or not. You can ask me about anything. Ask me about the MUA. Ask me about myself. Ask me about my interview with the Board of Regents? More polite laughter. I thought that might be what brought you here. Sure, I'm an open book. So, let's ask Daniel about himself. He executes a big false real, false modesty shrug. I'm a regional coordinator for the Midwest Undead Association. I love my job. I love facilitating inter- and intra-clan relations, focusing on vampiric priorities in our community and beyond, so that you can suck more blood more often. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That and synergy, I suppose. Ha! Good one. Okay, well, Daniel, you are... you remind me a lot of that... there's a vampire in What We Do in the Shadows who's like an energy vampire who's just a very professional type character, just like lives to be a character from the Office Space film, essentially. It feels very, very reminiscent. Let's ask Daniel about the MUA. Ask Daniel about MUA. The Midwest Undead Association has chapters from Denver to Cleveland. Our members number in the... Well, I guess I'm not supposed to tell a non-member about that. We're committed to advancing the position of vampires and creating opportunities in vampire communities in America's heartland and across the world. Sorry, he says, and I realize I was actually rolling my eyes. No articles. Let's ask about board. The Board of Regents is a vital resource for organizing vampire activity here in Kansas City and our suburbs. It's critical that every clan in the area can let their voice be heard. If I weren't trying to suck up to this guy, I'd be asleep by now. Can we ask him about Kansas City? He spreads his arms. The greatest city in the Midwest. If you don't count, forget I asked. Let's ask him about vampires. A lot of folks like to say vampires are solitary by nature. It's true that we like our privacy, but really, we're all about community. That's why the clan system is so important. We're so much stronger together. He makes a forceful hand gesture to drive the point home. We ask him about the vote. He shrugs. Apparently he doesn't have anything to say about that. Okay, so not... Oh, ask about... Can we just ask about? No. Talk to Daniel? Okay, I'm asking about Sabina. Oh, Sabina is inscrutable, Broom says, shaking his head. We never know where she'll take us. One thing's for sure. That she despises me? She keeps things interesting. Oh. Let's ask him about the... Let's ask him about Blister. Blister is full of surprises. A very dynamic member of the Board of Regents. Unpredictable, shall we say. And then he runs out of euphemisms. Let's ask about Vikric. Vikric's prestige adds a lot to the tenor of the Board of Regents. I have to admit that some of his policies seem a bit old-fashioned to me, and he gives me a significant look, like, we're both young, you get it. We ask him about places. Oh, it's not glamorous place for an office, no, but I'm not a glamorous sort of guy. Sure, but if the MUA brass offered him an office downtown, he'd leap at the chance. He purses his lips. 18th and Vine is historically an African-American community. I'm not sure Vikric fully appreciates the implications of taking over the old workhouse. I knew there was some bad blood brewing. You ask about the garment district? I don't get down to the garment district very often. Are the tunnels well secured? I think so, I say. I ask him about Westport. Westport is a great neighborhood, but isn't the Valentine Hotel technically in the Valentine neighborhood? Maybe. I'm not uptight about that kind of thing. Swope Park. I always enjoy visiting Swope Park, especially the zoo. Let's ask him about the financial district. He shakes his head. Apparently he doesn't... Oh. Ask him about the financial district. The financial district is a lot of fun, sure. He doesn't seem too enthused. Okay, well, that's all of the locations, and we've asked about the major players. We could ask him about, what's our guy's name? Russell. He grins. I don't like to think of thralls as victims. Really, it's a position of great privilege. Your boyfriend seems to understand that. He's not my boyfriend, though, and technically he's not a thrall, but I don't say that. What was it he specifically said we should talk about? The interview. I guess it would be an interview with vampires. So, about my interview tonight. He holds up a hand. We shouldn't discuss that now. I'm trying to see if there's a way to ask what he wants. I don't think I'm going to tell him about that. Nope. Okay. Let's look at the filing cabinets. There are definitely files in there for all the MUA members in Kansas City. There might be a file on me. There'd better be. I'm a big deal in this town. Dry erase board. The only thing written on the board at the moment is B of R, midnight. That's my interview. Underneath that, someone tried to wipe away a big letter T, but you know how hard it is to really erase these things. Okay, won't say anything about the T. We examine the desk. I can't get a good look without being extremely obvious about it, but I don't think that there's anything interesting on his desk. We ask him about teens. He tilts his head. Apparently doesn't have anything to say about that. Okay. Nor does he have anything to say about the maze. And he didn't really know about the tunnel, so that makes sense. Okay. We didn't actually type about. Thank you for your interest in the Board of Regents. This story is written for Enigmarch 2025, where you make a new puzzle every day all month long. But this game took me more than one day to make. Whoops. Okay. Maybe we should examine our first hint. You'll need to collect something from Sabina's place before you can make much progress elsewhere. Okay, so we have guesses about things, which we can get to, but we should go ahead and examine the other places and actually make note of all those clues. So if we examine the board here, it's 8 letters, guess by pointing. I'm going to be writing these down. 8 letters, guess by pointing. So there's something in this room that's 8 letters that we need to point at. We go out, examine the board. Can't do it here. Examine the board. Fulminate or a dizzy dragon's head pursues. I wonder. Follow. Let's look up fulminate. To utter or send out with denunciation, or to send forth censures or invectives. Or fulminate as a noun, an often explosive salt, such as mercury fulminate, containing the group CNO. To strike down or confound an opponent. Okay, cool. Probably would want to keep Merriam-Webster open. Let's go back and check out the rest of our locations. We've got all of our clues. Our second destination was 18th and Vine. Does this work? Nope. So, ooh, what? Oops, sorry. Let's see. So the first one was Sheffield. Sheffield. This is 18th and Vine. CNKHILNAI. That seems like a cipher or something. If we go south to the parking lot, necking portion. Okay. Here's the castle. Who's our K? That's pretty weak. Okay. The third location was the Garment District. Nothing in the parking garage itself. The Ouija board spells out Sierra Whiskey, in other words, southwest. The southwest tunnel does look a bit more likely. Tunnel. Yes, this is new, but it's definitely another enchanted tunnel nexus. The way back is northeast, but that's all I know. Examine the board again. ... So we just wait. Ellipsis. Yep. Okay. Okay, I take a chance on the southern tunnel, and I can tell I've made some amount of progress because this knot of passages doesn't look exactly like the others. The way back is north, but I'm sure I'll find the way forward. Okay, so we went... Our first was southwest, south... So we go northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, up, down, in, out. Okay, out. To tunnel. Oh, no, that took us back the way we came. That was not a correct... Go south. Okay. The board says 438, 130. $438, $130. I mean, clocks do have... Oh, I have just been notified that there's no video playing. What on earth? How did this happen? Let me... add a window capture. Nope, that's not right. Delete that. Well, that's embarrassing. The one time I don't have my laptop playing. This. Why is this not showing? Delete this. Delete this. How on earth did I do this? What? Well, look at that. There's video. So now I've done a video with no audio, and now today I've done a video with no video. Okay, well, here's where we were. Okay, well, let's continue. So 438, 130. $438. Let's look at a clock. So if we have just an image of a clock, 438 is here. 130 is here. Is it possible that could Ryan have done some sort of a combination of directions? Southeast, northeast? Okay, I shuffled down one of the passages, but it just sends me back to my current nexus. This is easy. I stride down the northeast tunnel, but it's not over yet. More twisty passages. The way back is southwest, I think. Examine board. Just go east. For real? This had better be the last one. Blister's lair. Oh, good. Blister is lying in an awkward position on the dirty floor, staring past me at the empty air. Just being weird for the sake of being weird. The way out is west. Okay. Good that things are now working. Let's examine the board here. Not quite on the A list. I get it. Blister's lair. Quite on the A list. Okay. Stop it. We examine Blister. Blister is the head of the Madness Syndicate, definitely the most embarrassing clan in town. He has to act ridiculous, wear shabby clothes, and smear gunk over his face to keep up appearances. Does he let down the act when he's at home, playing video games, brushing his fangs? We talk to Blister. She comes, Blister intones, lifting a foot behind his head. She comes, having bested our chaos spell. She must be a true child of madness to navigate the tunnels unassisted. I had to see you right away, I tell him. It's about my interview tonight. A seat on the Board of Regents, he whispers, and then flaps his tongue around a little. Mistress of the Sect of Thorns, she needs our vote. A deal can be struck, yes. When war comes... He interrupts himself to honk like a bicycle horn. When the clan battles against clan, the Madness Syndicate and Sect of Thorns will join forces against Broom and the MUA. Say yes? Say no? Of course, I tell him. Then a deal is struck. She has our vote. Kissy, kissy, kissy. And he makes some kissy noises at the ceiling before returning to his original pose. Blister, check. Okay, well, Blister's lair. We were successful. Let's go back west and southwest and north. and northeast. And west to the parking garage. So we have Blister's vote. We go in, examine the itinerary. We already got the but I need to make note of the messages in Swope Park. So let's go to Swope Park. We get out, we examine the board. Nothing at the trail, but if we go north to the woods, we examine the board. Woods, therefore, stomach contents. And if we go further north, he talks about lesions. Oh, wait. The planchet skitters across the board, spelling insoles. It said lesions before. Didn't it? A cabin. Lesions. Insoles. Oh, acronyms. Acronyms? Anagrams. Olsen is. Okay, so lesions, insoles, Olsen is. Lesions, yeah. Other. Lesson 1. Okay. In Sabina's lair. Hello. Thank you. Oh, need to type the game. We examine Sabina again. Be careful with that Ouija board, says Sabina. It's caused me more than its fair share of trouble. I'll get along just fine, I tell her curtly. She smiles. Okay, yeah. We will talk to most people. It's only the MLUA office where we need to do specific asking. We go out. We go south. Let's examine... Oh. Lioness. It's acronyms of the Lioness. We need to go north. I don't think I need to do that here. Okay, yeah. It was here that it says, therefore, stomach contents. Yep. Stomach contents. Okay. Financial district. We haven't checked the board in the car again. That was even frauds dispose of. Get out. Doesn't have anything to say right here. We go east to the lobby. Okay, lobby. Low ramble or rambling. All right. Go back west. And we go in. There was Westport. Did I make notes in Westport? I did not. Go to Westport. Nothing to say here. If we go up to apartment. Disorder, senility, or bad disarray. Let's check out that corkboard once more. We've already got X's next to Sabina and Blister, so we've just got to figure out Daniel Broom and Vikric. Okay. Down. In. Go to Sheffield. Out. This was Fulminate or Dizzy Dragon's Head Pursues. We did that there. We do not want to see what the board has to say in the alley. And here in the office, this is where it says 8 letters, guess by pointing. Okay. Cabinets are 8 letters. I don't think I need to do that here. Okay, fair enough. Daniel about interview. Daniel about time. Okay. Ask Daniel about questions. Huh. Apparently he doesn't have anything to say about that. We ask about Regents. We get the Board of Regents as a vital resource again. Okay. Let's Daniel about clans. There are 5 main vampire clans active in Kansas City. There's the Midwest Undead Association, of course. Then there's the Nine Tugs, led by Sabina. The Madness Syndicate, led by Blister. The Sect of Thorns, until recently led by the gentleman... Well, you know about that. Oh, and Vikric's Javeni clan. He's acting like they just slipped my mind. Let's ask him about Sect of Thorns. Oh, I'm sure there's nothing I can tell you about the Sect of Thorns that you don't know yourself. It's a very well-regarded clan. You should be proud to be a member. But you wouldn't mind if I ditched them for the MUA? That gets a genuine laugh out of him, finally. Let's ask about Nine Tongues. The Nine Tongues are a very prestigious clan. They bring a valuable perspective to our Kansas City community. And then he says some more meaningless sentences. Well, it kind of seems like the Madness Syndicate is not going to be relevant, but let's go ahead and do that anyway. It's great to have the Madness Syndicate in our community. They're very entertaining, don't you think? By which he means not threatening. About Giovanni? The vampiric interests of Kansas City are bolstered significantly by the presence of Giovanni clan, he says, although he's not any better at pronouncing it than I am. Ask him about gentleman. The gentleman was a valued member of the Board of Regents. We're going to miss him, as I'm sure the Sect of Thorns is. Sure. Vikric is adds a lot of tenor. Seem a bit old-fashioned. Ask him about traditions. No. Youth. No. Policies. No. I feel like so here's where I'm at currently in regards to solving our puzzles. We have to deal with the kids to get them to clear out to talk to Vikric. And we can talk with Daniel, but he is all about like the office bureaucracy politics nonsense. So I feel like we have to just either exhaust him of conversational topics or find our way through the maze of his conversation to see what he wants. I'm not sure how our board's puzzle solving factors into this, but it clearly is relevant to one or the two of these. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's ask him about Sabina. She's inscrutable. She keeps things interesting. Right. He doesn't have anything to say about his own vote. It's not a subject of discussion. He doesn't like to think of thralls as victims, right? And we're asking about himself again, right? Midwest Undead Association. Chapters from Denver to Cleveland. He says about undead. Ask him about membership. Surprising. Yep, nothing to say about Denver or Cleveland. All right. We can come back to this if any ideas occur to us. Before I resort to actually looking at our next hint, I do want to go ahead and see if we can figure out the kids. Let's go west and west in. Our itinerary is to 18th. can we transform? Takes a lot out of me. Maybe later. So if we go south to the parking lot, can we transform here? I'm feeling expansive, so I treat the boys to a fancy transformation. I'm a 10-foot bat lizard thing, ichor dripping from my 10-inch fangs. Or is it all in their heads? It seems real enough when my talons start tearing up the asphalt. I lift the nearest kid by the neck so I can shriek into his face. Then I toss him across the parking lot. He's still alive enough to run away, and when the others are finished wetting their pants, they run off too. Then I can dismiss the illusion. Now, if you're human, you might be thinking, well, they deserved it after they sexually harassed her. That's the human way of understanding these things. You assume I need an excuse. Oh, I guess that did constitute sexual harassment. That didn't even occur to me. Okay, well, glad that we were able to spook these kids off. So now we should be able to meet up with Vikric. Yep, away to the south is an empty parking lot. Here's the castle. Let's talk to the thrall. My master. She takes a deep breath. Appreciates your assistance with those children. I nod. Of course he does. We go in to Vikric's lair. The master of the Javeni clan sits slumped in his throne, as stately and as decrepit as his own castle. Little Freya, his voice creaks, I thank you for ridding me of those insufferable children. What is that accent? My pleasure. I was hoping we could talk about. Do you play chess, little Freya? He raises a finger, and a chessboard arranges itself on the table before him. I was hoping for someone to play with, now that it's quiet enough to concentrate. Well, let's examine the chessboard, I guess. Unlike everything else in this lair, the chess set looks brand new. Let's examine Vikric himself. Vikric must be the oldest vampire in Kansas City. He brought all his clout with him when he flew in from somewhere in Eastern Europe. I hope I don't look that wrinkly and nasty when I'm 400 years old. Can we just play chess? I do know how to play chess, sort of. I know how the pieces move. I also know I don't have any chance against a dude who's been playing for 400 years. Well, how bad can it be? I just pick a piece and move it, right? If we move a pawn, I pick up the pawn. I act like I'm thinking about where to move it. The look on Vikric's face tells me I'm on the wrong track, so I put it down. We move the knight. I close my fingers over the knight. I look up to gauge Vikric's expression. I leave the knight where it is. Okay, so the fact that we don't seem to have the ability to examine the board in detail suggests to me this is a puzzle that's not actually about playing chess. So ordinarily we would only be able to start by moving a pawn or a knight. The fact that neither one of those is correct suggests something else is going on here. Either the game is already in progress or there's a different kind of puzzle. If we move the bishop, I'm only reaching for the bishop when I see Vikric shake his head ever so slightly. So that must not be the right one. Well, the most appropriate would be to move the queen. I pick up the queen. I act like I'm thinking about where to move it. The look on Vikric's face tells me I'm on the wrong track, so I put it down. Move king. Nope, not king. Move rook. Interesting. Those are all the pieces I'm familiar with. If we examine the pieces, examine piece. Not okay. Examine the pawn, little stubby ones. Knight, looks like a horse. The bishop has a little pope hat. I wonder if any vampires out there have a reaction to that. The rook is the castle, duh. The queen is the tall, pointy one. Very dangerous. This chess set is in excellent condition, but naturally both the kings have had their little crosses snapped off. Okay, good point. Oh, I wonder if I need to... Okay, you don't need to distinguish between the colors. Okay, we're not getting into foreign, like, predecessors to chess, or predecessors to the current chess set. Is there another piece? Pawns, rooks, knights, bishops, queen, king. So there's another chess piece aside from the usual chess sets, it seems like. Let's examine our board. We haven't looked at that recently. I place the Ouija board under the table where I'm pretty sure Viker can't see it. The planchette moves as quietly as possible, spelling out after dusk. Okay. Vikrik's lair after dusk. Well, after dusk is night, and then midnight, and then dawn. Twilight. Move. Okay. Let's look. We examine his throne. Vikrik's throne has all sorts of moss and mushrooms growing on it. He must have shipped it here from the old country. The chessboard. The chess set. Nope. Okay. Something subtle about this. Can we move Vikrik? He is fixed in place. Spin chessboard. It is fixed in place. But spin is a meaningful verb. Interesting. Spin throne. Oh. Can we just spin? I might not like that if I try to spin myself. We can just spin things. Fun. Trixie. Okay, well, now that we are not making any progress here, let's see what our second hint says. When in doubt, look at the Ouija board, but if you can't interpret what the Ouija board says, you can probably brute force a solution. I would have thought so, based on our understanding of chess pieces. Chess pieces. I wonder, blue vampire? Okay. He is fixed in place. Let's move the chess set. Nope. It's fixed in place. Vikrik. Let's talk. We can talk as we play, Vikrik says, motioning to the chessboard. It's your move. Can we move multiple pieces? No, we cannot. Move piece. No. Okay. Move thrall. I tried to castle. That's where the car already is. So apparently you can just put in the word of the name of a location to fast travel there. Oh, can we capture? Capture king? No, we can't just capture the piece. Fair enough. Okay, so after dusk is night. Move night. I reach out confidently and advance one of my knights. Vikric nods. I was very sorry to hear about the gentleman, he says. The sect of Thorns has lost a very capable leader. A capable leader wouldn't let himself get slain by a little girl, I say flatly. Vikric nods again. He moves his own knight, then leans back. My move. We examine the board. Now the Ouija board is saying dawn with a new beginning. So, pawn. Move pawn. I reach for a pawn, then I glance down. The planchet is motioning to the right. So I reach for another pawn and push it forward. This sits well with Vikric, apparently. You think you'll make a better leader than the gentleman, then? If the Board of Regents gives me a chance. Vikric moves a pawn of his own. Now the Ouija board says, an E vanishes from Roanoke. If we take E out of Roanoke, that's Roanok. That is Anne Rook. Which works. I push my rook forward to follow the pawn. Vikric raises an eyebrow. You would be rather young among clan leaders, he says. There's such a strange musicality to his voice. Where is he from again? We're none of us as young as we look. This elicits an old man's phlegm-hacking laughter as Vikric advances another pawn. I really have no idea what kind of position I'm in, chess-wise. We examine the board. The Ouija board says, play went oddly. Play went oddly? Play went oddly. Let's see. Went oddly. So I keep wanting to make this an anagram of two Dondely? I don't know. Oh, that's not where you move pieces. You move pieces up here. Two. I've got to admit, I'm getting a little out of my depth in terms of the puzzle solving here. The thing that is puzzling me here is that normally I would have expected an anagram, but clearly we're out of the realm of anagrams because this doesn't share characters with. Play went oddly like that. Bishops are only going to play on every other. On every other square. So if we think about that, bishop on odd squares is, let's see. Well, that's not really giving me any hints. I'm just going to go ahead and try move bishop. Nope, not bishop. Examine board. Okay, we try a pawn, another pawn. I advance a different pawn. Vikric smiles. We could use some fresh blood on the Board of Regents, he says. I just hope that whoever replaces the gentleman is someone I can trust. Trust to align the Sect of Thorns with the Javeni clan, if the Madness Syndicate ever decides to cause trouble. Of course, I say, still distracted by his accent. Zah. He moves his bishop to threaten my king. Hey, did the Ouija board screw me over? In that case, he continues, I think you can count on my vote. I covertly fold the Ouija board and stand up. Thank you very much. I hope we can continue this game later. He nods. Vikric, check. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. Okay, let's talk to Vikric. I'm so glad you dropped by, Vikric says. The Board of Regents will be much more entertaining with you as a member. So now we've got everybody except for Daniel Broom, who it seems like he might be a more literal puzzle in terms of solving our pointing with the Ouija board. Let's go out and west, in, drive to Sheffield, which I could have just typed Sheffield to go there. I don't know why I'm taking these steps when we already know there's a fast travel option. Out, east, east. Examine the board again. 8 letters, guess by pointing, and then it spins around to indicate the alphabet. All right, I've got my cat moving onto my lap. Let's let her do that. Okay. Let's point at alphabet. I think it wants me to point at a specific letter, like E. I point at the T. The planchette points at the 1, then the 7. Oh, what? Okay. T, 1, 7. Let's see. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T is the 20th letter, but the planchette says it's 17. So, okay. What if we... I put it A, the planchette points at no. T is 1, 7. O is 2, 4. Okay. Let's try... Oh, was that actually 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. That O is the 15th letter, so it wasn't that the numbers were indicating. The next letter... Y? No. Okay, so the order does not matter. U, no. No. E is 6. Okay. No B. No C. No D. No F. H is 8. L is 3. Hotel. M is 5. Okay. Hotel, motel? I don't know what I'm doing here. 8 letters, guess by pointing. 1724. Oh, 368. So T O M O M E T Tomometh. Ask him about Tomometh. Ask Daniel about. Oh, I didn't spell it right. That's why. Tolo. 3, 4, 5, 6. I give him a sexy little eyelash flutter. What if I asked you about Ptolemeth? The fake smile disappears immediately. How do you know about that? I pay attention. Don't you think the position on the board should go to someone who pays attention? Or at the very least, someone who knows about Ptolemeth? Broom hisses at me. Stop saying his name. It's not safe here. So I just raise my eyebrows expectantly, and he gives in. Fine, I'll vote for you. Just promise me one thing. When it comes time to drop the act and draw vampire blood, the Sect of Thorns will stand with the MUA against Vikric and Javenis. Oh, of course, of course. At last he calms down. Daniel Broom, check. So, we go out. This should now put us on our path to home. We can just go to Westfield. Itinerary Westport. Yep. That's everyone checked off my list. And it's almost midnight. Time to head for the financial district. Okay. We go to financial district. We go out to the empty street. Let's go ahead and happen in the building to the east. The elevator door is open. Enter elevator. The doors close. It's not over yet. I may have secured 3 votes, but the interview still needs to look good. I don't want any of the Regents to guess that I've made a deal with any of the others. Blister, Broom, and Vikric each need to think that the others are voting for me based on my merit. And Sabina will realize that the others see something in me that she missed. She'll be furious at first, but eventually she'll have to accept that I'm just as good as her. What about Russell? Do I let him down easy or just drain him once and for all? Penthouse. The doors open. We go out to the boardroom. The members of the Board of Regents are seated around a circular table. Daniel Broom indicates that I should take the place between him and Sabina. Vikric rises from his chair, clears his throat noisily, and speaks. We are convened to evaluate Lafria's suitability as successor to the gentleman, both as clan leader for the Sect of Thorns and as a member of the Board of Regents. What say you, Sabina of the Nine Tongues? Oh, this should be good. Sabina shrugs. I vote yes. How dare she? I vote yes, too, says Blister, looking completely sober. Me too, says Broom. As do I. Congratulations. Vikric waves at the door, and a few thralls hurry in to pour us each a glass of blood. The other regents applaud quietly while I work through what just happened. Okay, I'm recovered. Vikric keeps talking. As our junior member, you will bear certain responsibilities. If our queen requests the presence of a representative... I can't really process what he's saying. I'm still stuck on his accent. I lean toward Sabina and whisper, What nationality is he again? She glares at me. He's from Prague, she hisses. I will not be talked down to. I glare right back. That's not what I asked. She just rolls her eyes and turns away. The end. Would you like to restart, restore a save game, or quit? You can also guess the answer if you think you know. Okay, so he is from somewhere. We need to know what nationality he is. It seems as though there are a lot of hints in the things that the Ouija board has suggested. I am not going to beat my head against this. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the solution and explanation because I feel plenty proud just for having worked out Tolometh. I want to see what the answer is. So, let's see. Day 22, board, the solution. You can explore Kansas City freely up to a point, but to make any real progress, you'll have to visit Sabina and take her Ouija board. It'll let you solve the puzzles associated with each of the other Boards of Regents members. In the tunnels under the Garment District, first squeeze your pendant to see in the dark. Then interpret the Ouija board's clues as compass directions. Sierra Whiskey is NATO alphabet for southwest. ... is Morse code for south. Oh, SOS ... That, yeah, is south. Okay. On a clock, 4:38 and 1:30 look like semaphore for northeast. Okay, I would not have gotten the semaphore connection, but it's clever. And the last one just says, just go east. Talk to Blister to get his vote. In Sheffield, you'll be stopped in your tracks by a religious advertisement. Head back to the car and go southeast to find your way under the billboard, then cut the wire. Now you can enter Daniel Broom's office. The Ouija board is cluing a word that's 8 letters long. When you point at a letter, the board indicates which positions in the answer word that letter occupies. Ask Broom about Tolometh to get his vote. In 18th and Vine, first head south to the parking lot and attack the kids. Then enter the castle to play chess with Vikric. The Ouija board gives a clue for which piece to move at each juncture. After dusk means a night. It sounds like night. Dawn with a new beginning means a pawn. Dawn but with a beginning of P instead of D. And E vanished from Roanoke means a rook. Delete A and E from Roanoke. And play went oddly means a pawn again. The odd letters of play went. Okay, now you have Vikric's vote. Go to the financial district, enter the building, and enter the elevator. When you step outside of the elevator, there's a cutscene and then the game is over. But a question still vexes Lafria. What is Vikric's nationality? The main hint is that he's from Prague. The answer to the whole puzzle is Czech, which is the word that has been occurring this whole time. It was the theme of the puzzle. Of course, it is Czech. It literally is right here. Czech. Czech is correct. You've earned 128 experience points. Thank you for joining me on this adventure in Enigmarch. We will be back next week for the little match girl, for our adventure, the little match girl for Crown of Pearls. Yes, this will be a big one. I expect we'll be able to complete it in a single play session, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. With any luck, we will not have the same video issues we had today. I plan someday to record audio over the episode in which this was when we played Little Match Girl at the Battle of the Great Peaks. There was no audio. I plan to just record audio over that existing video. That'll be easy to fix. This one, where we just didn't have video for the first half of the session, I don't know how to fix that, short of just playing it again. And I don't think I'll do that, so we'll just have to add a little description explaining the error here, and cross that bridge next time. Thanks again for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.